Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8 o'clock a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Monday, the 25th of July. It's a beautiful day outside. It's a nice, sunny, yet mild day. It's not overly hot. It's not oppressive heat or anything like that at the moment. If you're downtown here in Aurora, you will know that in between some buildings, you may even experience a crisp breeze. You may. We got friends back in the house today. We got two people who, they on the move and all that. They're doing their thing. They are in and out of town. You got a flight. When's your flight?
Today.
Your flight's today.
Yeah, I got one today.
And Nikki, when is your flight?
Friday.
Okay, yeah. See that? Big things. I know y'all at home like, when can I take a flight like that? Our friends Nikki, Daly, and Berwyn Thompkins are here once again. I got the Munchies education. How y'all doing?
We're doing
good. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Good to see you both back and in high spirits and looking well today. So, cannabis consumption lounges are what we'll talk about and get to know about. There's an event coming up this Wednesday.
Correct.
Right here in Aurora. But for those who are unfamiliar with you guys, introduce yourselves and then talk about what IGTME is.
Okay.
My name is Nikki Daly. I am co-owner and trainer and consultant with IGTMEducation. We are a licensed responsible vendor for the state of Illinois. So basically we do the training and so much more, agent training for dispensary workers and anyone seeking an agent card to work in a dispensary or with the handling of cannabis products.
Okay, all right.
So it's hard to follow. I'm Berwyn Thompkins of IGTMEducation. As Nikki stated, we're one of the responsible vendors in the state of Illinois, one of 38. We also consultants and help people obtain licenses in the state. So we've helped people obtain licensing on multiple levels, all the way from the craft grow to transporters to now consumption lounges, which is our next focus with our company.
Okay, consumption lounges.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, what are those?
So in Illinois, as we all know, it's legal now to consume cannabis, but where you can consume cannabis is the big thing. So with that being said, you only can consume at home or in what they call a consumption lounge, which is a legal space where you can go and consume cannabis. So think of it as a bar without liquor, but with the consumption of cannabis.
Right. So are these, it seems like the new thing, we on social media, it seems like that's kind of, I don't want to call it a trend, but it seems like that's the natural step towards for the industry to go. Like it seems like it's responding to a need and a desire, right? Is it a long time coming or?
Well, built around the law, for example, just the consumption of it. They don't want open consumption. They don't want it openly grown. They don't want it seen even in the packaging. The packaging is dark. You can't see the cannabis, right? So everything's about concealing and privacy. So naturally, the next involvement would be the consumption lounge. Where would you consume? Especially if you're home with children, if you live in an apartment building settings, if you live in different apartment. I know an apartment complex I live in, it's $500 fine if you smoke. Yeah, so different people and the rules get different. So some of the apartments may say, oh, you have to be 500 feet from the premises. So the business is going to evolve because people are going to they're going to need places to go.
Right. More of an outlet to consume responsibly their cannabis in an environment that's created, to do so, versus jeopardizing if you are a renter. It's really up to your landlord's discretion as to whether you can consume on the premises. So versus having any issues there, the consumption lounge is the next best option to enjoy in a safe environment.
What's the vibe like?
So we've actually been to quite a few.
What time y'all opened up? What time is it?
All right. Hey, so
working on it.
We also in Nevada as well. So we're going through a process with consumption lounges there as well. So we've actually attended consumption lounges there. Those are the first ones that we visited with there. So the vibe is very relaxed. The services is good. We went to one a few weeks ago in Mundelein, where I'll let you explain.
This is Rise Lounge and Smoke Easy, and their environment was very relaxed. You can order at your table. They don't require reservations, but they are strongly recommended. Each reservation is a 2-hour window for you to consume whatever you purchase, have a good time, sit back, conversate. It's not overly stimulating. By that I mean like there's no flashing lights.
No music?
No, there is music. There's background music, but it's not
it's not like a club.
It's not a typical club, party atmosphere. It really is a relaxing, mellow environment, and they provide you with snacks.
Free snacks are free.
Yeah. They were just like throwing goodies on the table. And non-alcoholic beverages. Everything from sparkling water to your favorite diet beverage. It was a really nice experience. So
fun. Entertaining, controlled, upscale environment.
Yes.
Right.
Just the kind of thing that the industry needs to have, right? Just
Correct. And the menu consists of different smoking apparatuses, if you will, or
smoking apparatus.
Right. The bong.
So wait, let's talk about the bar area. So they actually had a bar area.
Yes.
And it looked like they had liquor, right? So they had the Remy and the VSOP.
Yes.
But those were actually bongs because you're not allowed to have the alcohol and the cannabis together.
In the same house.
So they utilized theirs. They took it and turned the bottles into different bongs. So when you're consuming, you can utilize the bongs, Hennessy one or different ones of that nature. So I thought that was kind of pretty cool.
It's very unique.
Yeah.
Their experience is very unique. And as well as when you first arrive, they give you a tray with various wraps and papers and cones and
Yes.
Got your Swiss Dutch master.
They really lay it out for you.
All of that.
Mundelein,
yes. Rise Lounge and Smoke Easy.
Rise Lounge and Smoke Easy. Okay. So it seems like that's the template, right? Is that in your opinion? Is that the and not the swagger jacking, but is that the standard?
No. So So what happened with the consumption lounge? You can create. That's where the creativity comes in.
Right.
So depending upon what the local ordinance says and allow, you can do different things. So you'll see things where you'll see a club model. You'll see. I have a client, North Chicago.
Consumption
Lounge.
Right.
I almost forgot that. That's bad. North Chicago Consumption Lounge, where they're doing like a unique build out. That'll be very different. So you can put different twists to it. You can put stages in there. You can. It just depends on what the city allows as far as zoning.
Okay.
So some may zone for 100, some may zone for 300, or bigger. I know as far as zoning in Nevada, for example, there's no limit on the size of it, the square footage of it.
The build out basically beyond any local ordinances is up to the business owner.
Okay.
The experience that you want to provide to your target audience is going to be up to you.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that we consult on, the creative process of helping our clients bring their vision to life.
So without giving away any of their pertinent data, how many clients do you guys have right now in the pipeline, working to get it together?
3.
3?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can we get any flavor about them? Can you sprinkle?
Okay. So North Chicago, essentially their motto is they're adding karaoke rooms. So they'll have the bar area, but one of their main selling points is they'll have the different karaoke rooms that you can reserve and have your parties there. So if you have like a party of 10, you can reserve that that personal private space where you can consume.
Okay.
So
that's pretty fly.
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah, check them out.
So you can reserve your own karaoke plus cannabis consumption space.
Correct.
North Chicago
North
Consumption
Chicago.
Lounge.
Correct.
What's the price for something like that?
We do not have the pricing yet.
Okay.
But they do have a website,
Coming down the
NorthChicagoConsumptionLounge.com.
Oh yeah, no website yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they have a website.
Oh no, but it's no
pricing.
Okay.
Right.
Right, no
no
prices
pricing
on
yet.
it. They have a
No
website.
pricing yet.
North Chicago Consumption Lounge is the website.
All right. So so a little bit of background though. Let's just reverse a little bit. The last time you guys were here, we talked about the industry.
Yes.
And how it's going. You guys became a business in the history of that. For those who weren't or haven't caught that episode, like walk us through what's going on in your opinions now, what you know about the industry in our state, how it came to be, and how we got here to the point.
Okay. Well, it's evolved because COVID has evolved it so much. So it's like, it's kind of difficult to say, but we came in under one pretense, and COVID evolved it per se. So once COVID came, we became more like, how can we help even more as far as social equity applicants? How can we help get people of color, black and brown, into the cannabis industry? So we got into a lot of programming. We obtained the responsible vendor license that Nikki spoke of, IGTMEducation, to further do programming, to further do classes. We've created an online platform since then, so people can take online classes and get their responsible vendor training, which allows you to, your initial 2 hours allows you to work in a facility or own. That's the beginning process. But it also gives you the blueprint to even start a business in cannabis. So without taking responsible vendor training, you can't do much. So that gives you the parameters, teach you how to play the game per se. That's like a requirement.
Your first insight into even more specifically as an Illinois responsible vendor to the business in our state. Because not only are we talking about standard dosing and what dispensaries are allowed to sell, or how much a purchaser is allowed to purchase per day, we get into those laws. We get into, safe consumption. We get into the effects of THC on the body. So there's a lot of information beyond just the selling, which is kind of a giveaway. Right. Responsible vendor training. So it's the initial training that you need to just even know which direction to go into.
You've both used that word, that specific word, responsible, or those specific words, responsible vendor training, the entire time you've been speaking. So, I like that you highlight that, because I think, from what I've heard from people, the perception is once I get the license, I'm good. All I got to do is get I think, and I'll give me your opinion, I think people see the potential in the industry, and that's the shiny little golden egg that they're chasing. Not so much dotting their I's and crossing their T's. Is that in your...
So in my perspective, one of the things that separates the legacy market from the mass market of cannabis is the concept of responsible vending. You need to know, as a dispensary agent, who it is that your purchaser is, what they're looking for, and be able to advise them, what best strand, what best products that's going to work for them. Whether it's recreational or medicinal, you want someone dispensing to you that's knowledgeable. And that's a part of being a responsible vendor. Not only are they knowledgeable about the strands and what it is they're selling, the product, basically, like any sales position, they can also guide you, with the laws. So you have to be knowledgeable about all those things.
And what's you guys' website for the listeners?
It's IGTMEducation.com. Again, that's IGTMEducation.com.
That brother really understands media. He said it twice for y'all, so you get right. Just in case you missed it the first time. Can he say it one more time, Curtis? Yes, he did. Good morning to everybody out there. Medea, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, we're doing good. We're doing good in here. William Miller III. Good morning. William Miller III was with myself and Erica in the vestibule riding that Metro train.
Shout out, William.
Back before COVID. Back when we was chasing it. Remember that? Y'all remember that?
Yeah,
Yes.
Got some lukewarm coffee, maybe a couple little cough drops of peppermints on that ride to Chicago, Illinois, to jump on that rat race wheel and chase it. But now we're not chasing it no more. We are here. We've arrived. And the second largest city first daily news podcast is here for all of you. Tracy Duran is here. Good morning, Tracy. Sally Bice, good morning. And Erica, good morning to you as well. Thank you very much. Medea put the link to the website in the chat for everybody. The time is now 8:16 a.m. Good morning, friends. I hope everyone had a great weekend. We did. Quick news topics before we get back to our discussion with our friends of IGTMEducation. Movie Mondays are coming back, y'all. Yes, that's right. Get ready. Our friends of the Paramount are bringing back this local favorite, $1 Movie Mondays. It starts today. Today's first movie, presented in Spanish with English subtitles, is 200 Cartas. That looks like a very good movie. August 1st, the original classic, Godzilla, presented in Japanese with English subtitles. Good Morning Aurora will be in the house for that one. Yeah, we'll be there. So bring your $1, cash only, and bring some snacks. And when you see your brother, come in the row. We'll have our own row. We'll be sitting there chilling. Dreamgirls is August 8th. Great movie, 2006. Back to the Future, the 1985 original, September 5th. Raiders of the Lost Ark, September 12th. The 1981 classic. And Encanto, September 19th, presented in Spanish with English subtitles. Clue is on September 26th. And Nightmare Before Christmas, October 3rd. The time is now 8:17 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Tia Baruti, good morning to you. Michael Rayford, good morning to you as well. All right. So tell me, what would or licensing and fees, okay, and the classes that you guys have. How often are the classes, the schedule, and the setup, and everything? And then when you guys get with that, we're gonna talk about your recent media exposure. Y'all been all over the news. Man. All over the news. All over the news. But let's talk about the services and prices that you guys have, and classes and everything.
Sweet, let's talk about it. So we offer many classes. Initially, and of course we have the responsible vendor training. That class is $175.
Okay.
You get your certificate immediately following the class. You get your certificate. If you take it online, you get your certificate as soon as you finish. So you can take it either way, in person or online. That's available 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Then we have edibles infusion course, where we teach you how to properly infuse edibles so that you don't overdose, put too much in, not put in enough. So we teach the process to you where you do proper dosing. We have cooking candy with cannabis, where we teach you how to create hard candies from scratch with proper dosing. So that's when
So you can do the butterscotch with the...
You can do all that.
Oh, Lord.
It gets busy in the kitchen. Then we have the cannabis infused beverage masterclass. All right. And there's one more class I'm forgetting. Let's make sure.
Joe Jackson, good morning.
Packaging protocols and trademarks. Everybody should take that, especially if you're getting into the business of cannabis, because it teaches you how to create packaging with proper protocol, with the way the law states that you're supposed to create it. So things such as, like, it's not supposed to be clear packaging, things of that nature. How to register your trademark. Because as the law stands currently, you cannot register a national trademark. So we teach you different ways. No, you cannot. Anything related to cannabis, it would be considered illegal.
Why?
Because you can't use the cannabis leaf on a federal level.
What?
Yeah, but we teach you how to get your copyrighted trademark. This is what we do.
Okay.
They got you.
Yeah, we make sure you get your money for what you create.
Okay.
So those are the classes that we provide. We also have services, which is consulting. So we help people go through the process of getting a license. Okay. We've been highly successful with that, but we'll get back to that as well.
All right. Tell me about, was it ABC7?
I did a lot. Go ahead.
Okay.
Look, I'm like,
Which one? Right.
I think you did ABC, you did CBS.
did them.
How was that experience?
Um,
And how does it feel? How does it feel telling your story on that national level?
It's humbling because when I got started, it wasn't about, I guess, the attention that it's now receiving. So it's humbling to me. I'm thankful that we're getting the light shined on the different things that we're doing, the work that we're doing, because we've been working for so many years doing it. So more thankful and humble than anything.
Okay. All right. The time is now 8:21 a.m. So the law.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that about the law, that you cannot have the leaf displayed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It seems like people get away with it though. Doesn't Cypress Hill get away with it?
Well, this is on
Snoop Dogg
the
gets
state
away
level.
with it? Oh, okay.
So it depends on what the state says, but on the national level, no.
Really?
There's no national business at all. So, but that goes back to the banking. So it's like banking issues, the loans, different things of that nature. That's how it affects. When people say, "Oh, it's nationally illegal," but everybody's smoking. Well, it's national because when you have a banking issue, for example, right? So I'm like a black guy. I had a $2 million or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a banking issue, it's a bigger issue for me. If a MSO, which is a multi-state operator, has a banking issue, they have millions of dollars. They have a cash and money to deal with to get out of different problems. So if we have an issue, I can't go get a credit, for example, for a $250,000 loan, as they can have access to $250,000. So that's the difference when we're saying federally illegal, and that's the difference. It's the access to the financial market actually.
And understand, some people work in the gray area very well. Some people are allowed to work in a gray area, and by allowed, I mean what their efforts are going to be more ignored or just discounted. They're not.
Is that favoritism?
Yes, it would be considered favoritism. But so if you see like the leaf, if you see some of these things that are mentioned as you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, but you see it anyway, understand it may come from the legacy market.
Yeah, you mentioned that. What is that?
Formerly referred to as the black market.
I see.
But in all efforts to evolve the culture of cannabis, we're going to refer to it as the legacy market.
Understood. Because
these people who have been involved from growing and heavily penalized, due to what was once considered illegal activity and is still considered illegal activity if you're operating without a license.
Right.
Because there is the possibility of obtaining a license. We want to remove and break down the stigmas associated with this medicinal plant.
No, it makes all the sense in the world now, and that's something that we talked about before. That's the thing too. It's the stigma that associated it. Because I think I asked that question, like, does that stigma still permeate in the daily working of what
it is
doing?
Crumbling.
It
is. That stigma is crumbling because
I like that.
There are it's so commonplace. So even people who are not consumers, you can have a conversation with them and there is some level of understanding today of what's going on and what the cannabis plant is and the benefits of it, more like true knowledge, not just, oh, I heard that, because there's more media attention. So there's more blogs, there's more articles, and you can really, find out a lot of information out there about the plant, whether you're a consumer or not. But you would be surprised for those who don't partake. There are ways to partake without the psychoactive effects due to modern science. It's going to get all of
things like that.
Creams, spin downs of some of the more medicinal cannabinoids from the plant.
Gotcha.
So you can have, like CBD is the most common one, but there are so many more variants that are being discovered every day because now It's not, you're not being rated. Research labs, things of that nature are not being penalized for researching it.
Right.
And you don't have the government per se, like at the beginning of cannabis prohibition, only doing research to figure out, or to down the plant.
Right.
But only, finding out that what private researchers were saying was true.
Right.
So they were seeking to demonize the plant. I don't want to use that word, but yeah.
Well, it was highlighting the negative effects.
Right.
And talking about the positive ones.
Right. And the positive effects.
Right.
With proper dosage and strain selection, far outweigh the negative effects.
The time is now 8:26 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast with our friends Berwyn Thompkins and Nikki Daly of I Got the Munchies Education. Dan Santos is here. Good morning to you, Dan. And William Miller III says, money makes the world go round, doesn't it? Yes. Yes, it does. But as I'm an old school guy, y'all know that. The OJs once said with the money, 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 money. Can't hit that note. Okay. Real quick piece of information from our friends of the Paramount Theater, then we'll get back to our discussion here with IGTMEducation. So we got some great stuff coming up. Broadway subscriptions are on sale. Get yours today. Let me tell y'all what's coming up. Get ready for Dreamgirls coming on Broadway at Paramount, August 31st through October 16th. Followed by The Sound of Music, November 9th through January 8th of next year. And then February 1st brings us Into the Woods. 3 great shows coming up. Learn more about them at ParamountAurora.com. That's where you can get your, ParamountArts.com. That's where you can get your tickets. Also, the 2015 Tony Award winner for Best Musical Fun Home begins on August 10th or 11th. Now, you ask yourself, wait a minute, Kurt, which one is it, bruh? Is it the 10th or the 11th? Well, there's 2 days because you need to RSVP with your preferred day by the 5th. And what will happen is whatever day of those days works out for you, if you register by the 5th of August, you will be selected. They'll communicate with you of what your day and time is. See how that works? This will take place at Copley Theater, North Island Center, 8 East Galena Boulevard. It's a beautiful facility that's right across the street from the Paramount Theater. Now listen to Fun Home. Where memories linger like snowflakes and the truth is always opaque. Where finding yourself means looking to the past and seeing yourself reflected in your father, who is exactly the same and still so different than you. It's a place filled with humor, secrets, anger, unexpected joy, self-revelation, and the most confounding thing of all, family. Jim Cordy, Paramount Theater's artistic director, co-directs Fun Home with Landry Fleming in her Paramount directing debut. The time is 8:29 a.m. All right. So, what's going on Wednesday?
So,
I heard Wednesday. Now, I heard good things about Wednesday now.
Wednesday is cracking.
Cracking.
So we're having at the Illinois Cannabis Education Center in Wrigleyville, Chicago. We partner with Cresco, and we're doing a consumption lounge, informational. It's Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're giving, first of all, a tour of a dispensary, so you get to see the back end of it. You get to see how it's set up. You get to see the vault. You get to see delivery area, and they explain to you how the deliveries occur for cannabis there. You get to see the sales area. After that, we then get into the consumption lounge and how you can get into that particular business, which is the next, I believe, wave for cannabis. As the number one problem in cannabis, I think now, is access.
Right.
Actually getting into the business. So one of the ways to access the business is through consumption lounges. Okay,
you said deliveries. Mm-hmm. You see how deliveries work?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they explain to them, you're not going to see an actual
delivery.
Sure. Right. They explain how it works.
Right. So you'll go to the loading area. You'll see how the type of security they have. You'll see the lengths that they go through to secure the cannabis. You'll get an idea. So people that usually want to be in the business, this is one of the easier ways to kind of see behind the scenes. Okay, cost-wise, what am I looking at? What's the build out? How do they have their build out set up? you start beginning to build, your possible business off of their blueprint.
Okay. So it's kind of like boot camp. You will be in the place.
Correct.
To see and learn and hear and see how it works and everything like that. Okay.
Right. So the Illinois Cannabis Education Center is a part of Cresco Lab Seed Initiative. They use the space. It's a former operating dispensary that is no longer dispensing cannabis.
Aha.
So they only do the training. So that is how you get to see the shell of the workings of a dispensary.
Okay,
it used to be a dispensary, correct, and gain insight. And so they've been great at providing the space and partnering with us to give our clients the insight and information. They also provide subject matter experts on various topics, so to add to the conversation. And it's been a wonderful experience having our classes there, because you get to see firsthand what's going on behind the scenes, which a lot of people, especially social equity applicants who initially set off in this industry with very little knowledge or access to the behind the scenes or insider information.
Our friend Michael Rayford had a good question. How has the banking relationship changed?
You still cannot bank. There are only a couple of banks that will underwrite. One of them is Union One or something?
Yeah.
It's only one bank that's processing right now. So the banking relationship, none. Still non-existent.
Okay.
You have to get an underwriter, essentially.
Yeah, there were a couple of federal initiatives. Safe Banking Act. I believe I know it failed. They were trying to attach it to security, national security, and that failed. That was last year. So there's
Safe Banking Act.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is still a federal level push. Of course, it has to be federal level because banks being FDIC. So it's still a work in
back in the day.
Yeah. It's still a work in progress. Until then, we get there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, Nikki. What have you, in your time doing this, what have you learned what's been your penny drop moment? I mean, what was you guys knew what was going on before. You guys got into this industry as professionals, not people who just didn't throw a dart at a board.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, what was the moment for you where you were like, oh wow, what was the eye opener in seeing this? I mean, you're dealing with the stigma attached, also the difference between state and federal, what can be done, but then also new initiatives and laws. So I'm just curious, and what was the moment where you were like, okay, wow, I didn't know this?
Well, initially we were very grassroots with this thing, working out of the basement of a barbershop, providing people with the information that we had gathered at that point in time. For me was the beginning of it, to see the opportunity that people who have been marginalized and hit hardest on with the war on drugs, to see that come to our state and other states. Here's an opportunity for people to be legit. This is a crop.
Right.
This is a plant. I tend to err more on the holistic side of health. So I'm not big on taking medication.
Right.
And there have been different periods in my days where cannabis has been the viable solution for me.
Right.
So when I saw the opportunity to, get into this industry, I took it, despite the stigma.
Right.
And it was a knee shaking, boot shaking experience because of the stigma that, people would judge you or exclude you because now you're openly talking about something that was illegal and prohibited.
Right.
And so for me, it's always been from the beginning, even from my decision to get into the industry. It's been a rough path, but as things evolved, we've learned that, we have to. We wanted to do this work on our own. We learned that we had to partner with, our state legislators, not that we were opposed to it, but these are not people that were in our circle. And we did a lot of work before we started to meet some people higher up the food chain in the industry.
Sure.
And we help people get licensed. We help people get approved. I believe out of the first class, it was 5 or 6 people from that barbershop class received the responsible vendor, approval from the state.
Good feeling?
Excellent. A wonderful feeling. It's wonderful. So, we knew what we were talking about and what we were doing. And that was, for me, the beginning of it all, and still is. I stand on their work.
Keith Williams, good morning to you. I've been doing this for a long time now. And with every person who I can tell, if they're just not working a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they were invested in it or have been invested in it or came about, they always have a moment where that's when the page turns. Like, oh, okay, I got into this because of alarm detection system. We had this guy. Right? I got into it because I heard I could make a good pension. But wait a minute, I was a cop way back in the day. So now, you know what? Now this is the penny drop moment. I can actually do a lot more, or I didn't look at it that way. So many people have that, and then you pass that knowledge on to other people. So it's those barbershop classes. That was the that was the
so I joined in maybe like a year or two once Berwyn, pioneered our way for the brand. I jumped in because I watched from afar and I was doing other things. I was working in digital media.
Yeah, that's right.
And I still do to a certain extent for our brand. So I was happy to bring my skills to our brand and creating it and building it up, and also using that knowledge to help people, get into the business as well, bring their plans to life, which has been one of my, I've creatively consulted for a lot of friends who are in business, who venture to start businesses. That's always been my passion, is helping others make it happen.
That's what we here
and
for.
Anything I can do to help people make it happen, that's how I make it happen.
We are all our brother's keepers.
That's right.
Michael Rayford says, thanks for promoting our How Money Works for Kids and Millionaire Midwest for Women events. They were very successful last week. Glad to hear that,
right.
Michael. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm happy to give back. Michael Rayford worked for PBS for many years.
Okay.
PBS is, since I was a child.
I love PBS.
Right? Come on now. Since I was a child. PBS. African Americans, how we got here. The history of this. Come on now. I'm happy to do it. Josie Mendoza Geller is here, a dear friend of the show. Josie, good morning to you as well. And Tia Baruti says, seeing the inner workings of the industry gives firsthand experience and a better understanding of how a process is actually ran. A great place to start. Thank you very much. Josue Pais, good morning to you. The time is 8:39. Berwyn, when was your penny drop moment? When was the moment where you was like, oh Lord, nah. Let me put on another pot of coffee. Let me keep working at this. Let me respond to this.
Probably, to be honest, probably I was in Vegas. We were doing classes, and initially the classes were doing good. This was 6 years ago. The class was doing okay. We weren't selling that good. So went and did a new curriculum, I think in October of that particular year for January. And so when we sat down and did our work and put together like a more solid situation, when we brought that work back out, it did like I want to say we posted the class. We did like 30,000 in 2 days.
Okay.
So I'm like, wow, okay. We had went from making like 5,000 to 10,000 to 30,000. So then we said, okay, well, we started putting more into it. So I have another partner, which is Victoria Williams. She owns ACC of Illinois. So we
Another pioneer,
right?
ACC.
We all like really worked really hard, but that was a confirmation. Like the money was there, because before it was like, you know, you're a rap group. It's like I want to keep rapping with you, but yo, the money ain't coming in.
Right.
Like I want to be part of Run DMC, but hey man, I got lights.
I'm watching cars.
I got lights.
Right.
So it's like that's the struggle. Like everybody really does believe in it, but it's like the thing is like when you have bills and other situations going on, and it's a really a fight in this business to really own your content, to own your business, because it's a lot of people that's selling, you know, and doing different things. So it's hard to own and keep your business. So that was like the difficult thing. Like for us was like staying at it without the money.
Right.
And so the penny drop was like, yeah, we did that, and then of course when we got the license, that was like confirmation to the stuff we believed in. So once people started getting awarded license, and we knew that was like the confirmation. Oh, okay. Oh wow, we did it.
Right.
Then we did it again, and then we just did the transporters licenses, and we wanted the highest scores in the state. We scored like 900 and something out of 1,000, but we wanted the highest scores. So
okay,
yeah. So that just was further confirmation for us. Like okay, all the work that we've been doing, all the studying, you know, the fighting, we all be fighting.
Advocacy can be a thankless job.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
But we will still advocate for our true social equity candidates to this industry and find different ways for minorities to have ownership in this multi-billion-dollar industry, right. And even more specifically, the multi-billion-dollar industry here in the state of Illinois.
So, and with that, do you, when people come to you and meet you, this, I guess more of an opinion-based question, you guys get people who are, when they sign up for the classes or they want to get started with you, are you meeting people who are ready to go and have a base knowledge? Are they, right, are you meeting people who are just brand new at this and think it's cool and here they are, or have they done research? Have they done even the small amount of research, and you're working with people who you're just guiding, or are you starting from scratch with everybody who you come in contact with?
Initially it was more experienced people. So like 7 years ago, it's actually like way more knowledgeable people as far as when they were coming to the classes and getting information. You will find that like they were there essentially for confirmation on what they were doing.
Information seeking.
Now you're getting more of a consumer that doesn't have the experience, or they're new to the business. But years ago, you would have actually a more experienced consumer coming in.
How did that happen? How did those, right?
Well, because one, we created a safe space for people to conversate about cannabis. We talking 7 years ago. It's only been legal in Illinois. We're going into our 3rd year of legality. So we were teaching prior to that. We were getting people, because we always believed that the legalization of cannabis was coming. So we wanted to get people that we knew, people in the community, ready for this impending business that was coming. So we actually have a lot of clients that are further ahead. We got one on here now, Takana's Kitchen. She's so wonderful. Make sure y'all follow her on
Takana's
Facebook.
Kitchen,
Takana's Kitchen. So we had a lot of people that we worked with for years that developed like for years. They're not new people per se. They would be new to the new market per se, but somebody like Takana's Kitchen, she's been trained over 5-6 years in the safe dosing of cannabis. And then she's been able to evolve her menu, and she's become quite successful. So that's just one person I just happen to see down there. But we have many people that we were able to like basically guide them. A lot of people do have the motivation and they want to get into the business, but it's essentially like they're looking for the guidance and the next step to what they need to do. We have like a lot of wonderful business people that we deal with. It's just really about just opening up the opportunity and letting people know where those opportunities exist and helping them guide through those opportunities.
Time is 8:45 a.m. What's it been like working with the city?
See, Aurora, it's been cool. We want to do we're looking to try to open a consumption lounge in Aurora.
Right.
So
business is always an ongoing thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So and we're also looking for clients that are interested in opening Aurora as well. Again, it's safer to consume at a consumption lounge. It's a business that is a multi-million-dollar generating business at the capacity of just 100 people. So if you have a spot that capacitates 100 people, we got a plan to get you over $1 million. So it's all about just the information, getting people the instructions on how to do this before other people realize these things. We want our people to realize like the real benefits of cannabis. It's not just having a dispensary license. There's other ancillary businesses that have to do with cannabis that we can realize. Again, this is a $1 billion industry. I believe cannabis is the number 4 commodity crop in Illinois at this point. It's a $1 billion business. So again, it's going to generate,
right.
It's going to generate other businesses outside.
I think the only thing that's beating it is like cereal or wheat or something like that.
Yeah,
something like
it's even surpassed alcohol. Like as far as the tax revenue, cannabis has now surpassed alcohol.
Right.
So we could sit here and ignore it, but the reality of it is that it's here. It has to be regulated, and there's opportunities and different things and different businesses opening up around a multi-billion-dollar business such as cannabis.
Aisha Saxon, good morning to you, and Karina Suarez Darden, good morning. Okay, Michael Rayford says, are you guys open to partnerships, entrepreneurship education?
We do it all the time. Wednesday, come out Wednesday. Consumption Lounge. I think we got like 10 tickets. We sent the link. We got like 10 tickets.
Oh, we got the link.
So I sent you guys the link.
That's right.
But we do. We partner with Cresco Labs. Is one of the companies we partner with. Obviously, we partner with ACC, and we do things usually every month. We're doing something somewhere, either in Aurora or Chicago, in relations to getting people into the business of cannabis.
Cresco is where the event happens Wednesday, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what's the
Illinois
address for that
Cannabis
again?
Training Center.
It
is. Let me put my specs on for people. 3812 North Clark Street.
3812 North Clark Street.
Chicago, Illinois, and those specifics 60613.
60613. All right.
It's in Wrigleyville, right down the street from the stadium.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're around over there too, I mean, I don't know. I'll go over there, Wrigleyville and everything. Wild Hair, where he at? Is that Clark?
That's Clark. I think that's Clark.
They moved.
They did?
They did.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second and I'll tell you where
right.
they moved. They moved some years ago.
Go to Wild Hair, y'all. Do that.
I used to go there when I first moved to Chicago. So I'm originally from St. Louis.
Right.
I've been here for 18 years in the greater Chicago area.
Okay.
I've been a resident of the city of Chicago now for almost 3 years. And I used to frequent the Wild Hair every Tuesday. I would drive from far south suburbs all the way up north and have such an awesome time. So I love that place. Now they are down the street from, is it Kingston Mines?
Yes, right.
Yeah, 2610 North Halsted is their new location. They've been there now for probably 5 or 6 years to that new location.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you're out there in the city of Chicago and you go to this event on Wednesday, I just want to plug in Wild Hair, a really good place. And I want to give some love to them because once upon a time, they really looked out for me. I was in there doing some work. I left a bag and all that, laptop, computer, all that in there. I left everything.
Yeah.
And they kept it for me, you know, and held it down. And that's really rare because there was a lot of people in there, but the dude found it, saw me as a good customer coming there a lot. Yeah. Found it, held it down, and I appreciate that.
They take care of the regulars.
They do.
I was a regular for about a year straight, and they took good care of me. So yeah.
The man took such good care.
Yeah, great place.
Anyway, the time is 8:50. All right. So Medea put in the event with the link in the chat for people to sign up. Victoria Connor, this is good information. Thank you. Thank you very much, Victoria,
Thank you,
for tuning
Victoria.
in. Thank you very much to all of our listeners, and shout out to all of our listeners, fans, subscribers, and colleagues and elected officials who watch the show.
And also, I wanted to speak. We just did an event. Saturday. I'm sorry. We just did an event for the transporters with ACC of Illinois this past Saturday. We had who was there? Yeah, we had. Wait a minute, let me fill this up. Who raised their hand to speak and then wasn't ready? So we had State Rep Kelly Cassidy, who wrote on the initial cannabis legislation. She was there speaking. We had Victoria Williams of ACC there speaking. We had myself. We had Cresco Transportation Specialist there. We had Siobhan Carter, Taking Your Life Back. Today, that's for expungements. For people that are looking to work in the industry, she does the expungements. Check her out. And then Vincent Michael, the Vincent Michael Experience. So we did a situation where people that couldn't operate their transportation licenses, they were able to come in and get information to further where to get their insurance from for their cargo, what companies to link up for that, what camera companies they would need, what Cresco is looking for to subcontract out any transportation. So it was a place where people could conversate and actually operate, because as it stands right now, none of the operators for transportation in Illinois are operating right now. So that was facilitated so that people can operate.
The time is 8:52 a.m. So what does let's pull out our crystal ball, right? What's the next 5 years look like for the industry? From what you can tell right now, I mean, what's,
For everybody, or for who?
For those split it up.
For us, okay. So for social equity, I think if you get in at the right time, which is the beginning, you see it evolving into the consuming aspect. So as you see bars and clubs and different things in neighborhoods, you'll also see these consumption lounges. I think that's the quickest way to gain wealth in cannabis right now as far as minorities, because you don't have to put up as much money. So like the dispensary licenses, like right now, the people that just got notified Friday, they have to pay like $30,000 to obtain that license, just the licensing fee. That doesn't count the application, that doesn't count the consultants they paid.
Wow.
So you may spend anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 to attain the license for the dispensary, as opposed to you may spend to attain the consumption lounge, you may spend $10,000,
right?
$10,000 to $15,000, and you're in business because you're not as heavily regulated as the regular cannabis business.
Right.
So it's been looking for like soft points. We've been looking for soft entry points for people to get into cannabis, because as you know, it's easier to get into the business when you're in the business in some type of capacity.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Yep, you got to be in it.
Yeah. So that's our next, like the goal of the 5 years is really getting people in. It's taking 2 to 3 years to set up your business. So
okay, sorry to interrupt. Time is 8:53. How can we help you? How can we, the community, help you?
Support us by coming to the classes, sharing links, that's free. Tagging people, that's free. But obviously, like coming to classes, coming to events, furthering the conversation of cannabis.
Right.
So half the events we do are free because we want to really engage the community and create the conversation and have a safe space for people to have a conversation and express themselves in regards to cannabis.
Right. Come be a part of the room. That's how you can help us. We have a open table, so to speak, and we love when people come to the event and add their insight. That's what our events are about, because it is done on an entrepreneurial level. So we want people to bring their expertise and what they are experts in,
right,
and add it to the conversation, because it really opens the mind for everybody in the room. Yep. So come to the room.
See, it's like a salad, right? You got the cucumbers. He got the onions. You got the tomatoes. Come on, somebody bring the ranch.
Got that Italian.
Right.
They got the croutons and all that. We got the croutons. We got the whole thing.
Right.
Okay. So a cannabis consumption lounge in Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Let's daydream right now.
Let's daydream.
Let's daydream. Have you ever driven around the city and looked at a building or a corner or maybe a little store? You thought, you know what? There it is, right there.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Where is that at?
That was on, not far off of Highland. You know where the Speedway and the Thornton, they're across from each other?
Speedway and Thornton on Highland?
It's not Highland, no. It's before then. It's like a hospital over there, the hospital district.
What's the street? Okay.
You get off the expressway, I think it's like 53 or 50. What is it's like as soon as you get off of 88.
88.
Yeah.
You mean North Aurora?
Is that
Like
considered
right where
north?
you get off?
Oh, where so that's what?
Orchard?
Lake Street and
Yeah, it is Lake Street, I think.
Lake Street or
I think it's Lake Street.
Oh,
But right there, it's a
yeah.
speedway, and right across from there, it's a Thorns.
Yes.
It's a Culver's over
Yes, I
there,
know exactly where it is.
Popeyes.
Oh yeah.
By Pravina Mercy or
Yeah. So
okay.
so in that little section there, and then a little bit past there, there's actually open land, like open area over there. That's for rent right now. So I was looking at that as the ideal space.
Okay. All right. So you was already peeping.
Part of the dream. Part of the dream. What else you want me to dream
got
about?
that vision, Willie.
Right. What else you want me to dream about?
I see also in the crystal ball that safe banking.
Sure.
I mean, it's a hope. But I see it because there's more states have gone legal in the last 5 years. I mean, just the whole concept of legal cannabis and decriminalization of cannabis possession. You know, we should eventually see the federal government saying, okay, hey, yes, this is a business based off of a crop, you know, a natural plant, and they should be allowed to bank safely. We should be allowed to grow our businesses, receive, you know, funding just like any other business would to get started, to continue, to flourish. So that's the crystal ball that I'm looking into and hoping that it comes to fruition.
So it sounds like the next thing that would really be the greatest boon to the industry would be the passing of the Safe Banking Act.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The time is 8:57 a.m. Norma Peterson, Sullivan Lake. Thank you very much for that. Medea put in the chat the event with the Eventbrite link. Thank you very much for that, Medea. Cresco shouts out ACC of Illinois. Shout out, and State Rep Kelly Cassidy. Shout out. All right. So the time is 8:58. This is a good one.
Yes.
Part 2, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Get
Well,
ready
keep
for
y'all
part 3.
informed.
I want to give a shout out while we're here.
Absolutely.
So July 27th is a special day, not only for IGTMEducation, but for my dad. It's his birthday.
Okay.
So I want to say happy early birthday to Mr. Roy Daly Jr.
Yeah, we hit the class for Dad.
Happy birthday.
I was planning on being in St. Louis early for his birthday, but then we had scheduled this event. So that's what I'll be doing on his big day, is teaching people about cannabis.
Good. That's good. Dad, be proud of that.
I'm trying to think of some.
He is. It's very interesting. Out of all the things, you know, and you look up and you say, "Oh, okay, cannabis.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it."
But I want to thank you. So thank Nikki. Who's on the team? Nikki. Look, Nikki, Vicky. No. No, Nikki, Victoria, Skip. You all for having us here.
No doubt.
I feel like I'm forgetting.
Let's thank
somebody.
Erica.
Oh, yeah, Erica, Vincent, Michael.
My co-owner,
Yeah.
Erica Tompkins, for all of her hard work in the back office,
That's right.
helping with the business setups and things of that nature.
That's right. And
One day she'll be here on Good Morning Aurora.
That's right. That's right. and the Tompkins, we appreciate them as well. We came a long
Yes.
way.
Right,
Yes.
Thompkins Empire.
We can. Henry Ford said it. We can all achieve so much when we don't care who gets
Yes,
the credit. We
yes.
work together as a people.
Let me thank one more person, Emmett Nielsen from Illinois Cannabis Education Center.
Okay.
Emmett is the person that runs the show over there for Cresco Labs,
Okay.
and he has been open, awesome, help with any idea I come to him about, and he's ready to make it happen.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to Emmy.
Time is 9:00 a.m. Thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate all of our great listeners, fans, colleagues, friends of the show, elected officials, community partners, everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow is another great episode. We have Brooke Shanley, chair of the Kane County Democratic Party, coming on to talk about gun legislation and the unfortunate but canceled incident recently. So have a great day, all of you great people. Wednesday, 10 a.m., Chicago, tour, Fresco, IGTM Education. Take care of yourself and each other.